Hey there, everyone. Josh Crowfoot here, Crowfoot Law Firm in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm a commercial real estate lawyer, and we're here on day 12 of Commercial Real Estate 101. Today, we're going to be talking about casualty provisions in a commercial real estate contract and what you need to make sure it says if you're on the buyer side. So, a casualty provision addresses what happens if there is a casualty event that occurs during the time period that the property is under contract. So, what happens if there's a hurricane and it destroys a commercial building, or there's a tornado that comes through, destroys the building? Who takes the risk of that loss? The buyer or the seller? And what provisions do you want in there as buyer to protect yourself in the event of a casualty? So what the contract should say is it should say that seller assumes any risk of loss if something happens during the contract period. The rationale behind that is seller probably has casualty insurance covering the property. If something happens, the buyer should be able to terminate the agreement and walk away, and the seller can get the insurance proceeds from its policy and then hold on to the property or sell it later. Things can get complicated when there are improvements on the property and it's not a total loss, and let's say just part of the building gets damaged, not all of it. What you can find is that the parties will negotiate a certain percentage that's allowed to be destroyed, let's say 15%. And if 15% of the building is destroyed, then 15% gets taken off the purchase price. But anything over 15%, the buyer has a unilateral right to walk away from the contract. The idea being that if it's over 15%, then the buyer should not have to get a reduction in purchase price. They should just be able to terminate the agreement. So I'm just using 15% as an example, but some people say 50% or more. Some people say 10% or more. It just depends what the parties negotiate. It's not a provision that's heavily negotiated, just because the possibility of there being a casualty event is so remote, but you should know about it.